Hello YouTube friends, welcome to The Last Homely House. I'm Kate and I'm in a room that you don't often see here on YouTube, and I want to explain what it is I'm doing today. It's a great project and I thought you might enjoy doing it along with me. This room used to be a bedroom, and then it was the Last Homely House shipping room for the longest time, when Anna, my daughter-in-law who works with me, and I used to ship the things that we had in the shop. We have someone who helps us do that now, and so this room was freed up and we turned it into a storeroom and a little bit of a mess for quite a long time. And Anna, who is very tidy minded, tidies it up every year. She comes up here and she has a go at tidying it all up, and now it's looking like a fabulous second sewing room, which is what I've created up here. So I have all my stored fabrics over there and lots of my lovely trims and lace and bits and pieces of scrap special fabric, and I'm going to use those today. So let me tell you a bit about this room. When I established it as a second sewing room, who needs two sewing rooms? Well, I do. One of the things that's really important in my downstairs room is my design board. Oh, and my cat. Are you coming up? She just follows me wherever I am. You go and sit on the windowsill. Come on. A design board is one of the things I use all the time downstairs, and so I thought that I probably needed to make one up here too. So I did. And if you wanted to see me wrangling with a massive sheet of polystyrene from the builder's merchant, there's a video on my Patreon channel all about that on Friday. You'll be able to see me making this design board. It's been in use for about a month now and I've used it loads, and let me tell you about the project that I'm making today. I'm making something that I call soft boxes, and I went round the house just now to find the ones that I have here, and I'll show you what I mean. So this is a soft box. Excuse me, cat. This soft box here, this is the one I just brought up from the bathroom. And this is the one I keep my paracetamol and Lemsips in. They're useful for absolutely anything. This one is from the room with the washing machine, and this is where I keep the washing things that go in the washing machine. And so this is another soft box. And this one I just found. Now this one is a knitting box with some very beautiful variegated yarn in here. One finished sock and one mostly finished sock. So that's actually something that I need to take downstairs with me and finish. But it's just the right size for storing a few little bits and pieces, anything. Absolutely anything at all. And they're lovely to make. I made all of these out of old denim jeans, and I didn't have any denim jeans, so the ones that I'm making today, I'm actually making it out of some denim that I bought. I bought a few yards of denim, I'm using that. So I'm going to show you the process of making these. What I would say about them right from the start is that you can probably make these really tidily and really neat and really, coordinating with all the colours and so on. But you can also make them quite scrappy, which is what I like to do. I like the raw edges. I like the frayed bits and pieces. I like the kind of mismatched bits here and there. I like the visible machine lines. And on this one, I'm actually also going to have to like the cat hair, because she's just left quite a bit of cat hair on there. So shall I show you the process of how I put all of these together over on my table over here? So on this table here, I brought down all bits of lace, and this is an amazing piece of vintage lace that I have. I'm using a little bit of that. I'm using some of this stuff, which is loads of fun. Little bits of bobbly stuff that I have. I've been collecting these for years, and I have so many beautiful things in this basket, and then some ribbons and more bobbles here. And then here are some special bits of sparkle fabric, just lovely little bits and pieces. This is a bit of silk, and I've just tipped them all out here. Oh, I love that one. Look at that beautiful piece of velvet. Wow, what an amazing colour. We'll see if we can use that somewhere. Fantastic. I love all these bits and pieces. It's so nice to get them out and use them. This is another one that I really love. I've had this for years and years. Isn't it gorgeous? Beautiful. Anyway, we could look at all of these one at a time, or I could show you what it is I'm doing. So I have this template that I use, because as I say, I've made these loads of times before, and it's going to make a box that size. It's very easy to do. You can easily make yourself a template like this. Maybe I'll leave in the description below, in the show notes, I'll leave you the size of this one so that you can make one this size if you want to. And then simply I've just drawn round it onto my pieces of velvet, that's my velvet, onto my denim here. At this point you could use a pair of old denim jeans and have little bits of the sewn leg in there and the pocket and so on. You could do that if you had an old pair of denims. So I've left the selvage on there because I like that. And I've cut round that, and that's my outside of my box. Now, what I've then done, if I can find it, here we go. I've got, ages and ages ago, I bought a bundle of K-facet fabrics, and I decided I would use them all up in this project. And so then I cut the same piece out of a lovely bit of fabric. Now, if you're making more than one, you can be really careful and tessellate this, actually fit it together so that you're not wasting fabric when you put that together like that. And there I have then my template and my two pieces that I'm going to need to make this box. This is the lining and this is the outside. And so I don't need that one just yet. Okay, so now we just let your imagination run riot. And I'm trying to kind of theme them. So there's a little piece of this fabric here. And so this is the bottom of the box, and I might put a little bit of that on the bottom of the box. That's quite a nice thing to do. And then I'm just going to play and find little bits and pieces that will fit in well with this. One of the things I really love to do, here's a finished one here. I love to do this kind of sparkle side here with a piece of netting sewn on with little tiny bits and pieces of sequins and beads and so on. So every one of my little boxes will get one of those. And then just some little bits of decoration. This one's got an extra pocket here. Oh, and this one's got a lovely piece of this stuff. I have no idea where I got that from. It's amazing, isn't it? So actually that fits well with this colourway, so I might use a little piece of that. So why am I making all these boxes? I'm making a few because every quarter, spring, summer, autumn, winter, I make a gift and to send to my log cabin patrons. I have a lovely community on Patreon, and I make a diary every month for people. I make a video that I call One More every Friday for another tier. And then I have a tier, the log cabin tier, where I send a gift each quarter. And this one is the summer gift. And so these ones have already, when you see this video, they've already been sent out to the people who are on that tier. So then the next gift, I'm already thinking about what I'm going to make for the autumn. So if you wanted to check out Patreon, you would see there's all sorts there, going back to the beginning of 2019, all sorts of things that you might enjoy. Okay, I'll take that over to the sewing machine and make a start. Come on, I need to sit there. I wonder if you could pop off, please. Come on, sweetheart. I wonder if I could sit down there, please. No. Okay then, so the first thing I like to do then is this little bit of netting and choose where I'm going to put that. And I make columns. This is the fun bit. I really enjoy doing this bit. So I'm just going to get my big scissors and I'm going to put it on that edge with the slightly frayed bit there. Okay. That'll do for another one. A couple of pins. Okay. And then I'm just going to sew that all the way round and leave the top open. And this stuff's pretty slippery to cut, so I actually trim the fiddly bits down once it's sewn on, like that. But remember what I said earlier about this not looking too neat and tidy. It's got to look a little bit slightly wonky. And then I have my bin down here because I do create a lot of mess when I'm doing this. Okay, now then, I decide, am I going to do 4 columns or 3? I think I'll do 3. So you can measure it if you like, but I'm just going to kind of eyeball 3. 3 is about there, isn't it? There and there. Yeah, that looks about right. Measure if you want to. I'm not a great measurer. This will look fine. And then I'm going to create 2 columns here. Don't worry about the threads, you can get all those later. Okay, now the fun bit. So with those columns like that, and it's a sort of bluey, lovely bluey green. So I'm going to go into my bead boxes here and find beads that will be the right sort of colour. Sequins, beads, all sorts of bits and pieces. And I'm going to put a few down each column. I'll show you. Let's see, what should we choose? This is our reference. We're going for these colours. So the first one then, we'll put a little pinch of these blue ones. Not many, you just need a few. And the next one, let's put some heart sequins. They look fun. Silver heart sequins in that one. Make sure they go all the way down to the bottom. And then let's see, what else have we got? Let's try another box. I've had these boxes of beads since Martha was little, my daughter. Blue, that's nice, we'll use that one. There, that's a kind of bluey silver. We'll pop that in there like that. A few little beads like that, just a few. And now we need to sew along here to trap them in. Make sure they're all down at the bottom of your run of fabric there. And we're going to do the next, we'll capture those in there. And we'll do the next row. What should we do now? Something, what have we got here? Something a bit greeny, I think. Although those are nice. Let's try for, let's see, what have we got? I've got some bugle beads somewhere, they look really nice. Let's put a few of those in. A bit tricky to get them. We'll put a few of those in, because they're a different shape, they look quite fun. Pinch those into there. And then another thing that I've been enjoying doing, can I find them? I've got a few of these little tiny mirrors that they use in Indian embroidery. And I'm going to pop one of those into that end there. Now, of course, putting these in here means that this is going to be now impossible to wash. But I don't think this is something you need to wash. I don't think we need to be washing everything, do we? So I think give washing this one a miss. I would. What do we want in there now? How about, I quite like something green. Let's be careful when these are open, not to tip them over. Let's have some of these lovely ones in here. Yeah, we'll go green in the middle, because there's lots of green in this fabric. This green, sparkly green. There we go, that's nice. And then, making sure all the beads are down, we're going to sew along here. And then the last run, what should we put in there? Let's see. Oh, we've got some green sequins here. Let's get that. Oh yeah, those are great fun. We'll put those in the middle. Okay, it's tricky and fiddly, but it's the kind of job I love, you know. I love fiddly, I really do. Couple more choices now. What else have I got? What have we got here? What does it need? More green. I mean, that's always the answer, isn't it? The answer's always more green. There, we'll put some green ones in. That's nice. Not many. You don't need many at all. And then there's quite a bit of sort of creamy yellowy white in there. So let's have a pinch of creamy yellowy white in the end one. Okay, I'll just drop one, but never mind. Okay, and we sew along the top. And then carefully putting the lids back on all of these so we don't have a spill. So we don't need those till the next one we make. There we go. And then I'm going to just do some little bits of trimming here. And that's the first side of this little box done. And they're going to sit in there very beautifully and look very decorative indeed. Okay then, so I've got this piece here, and I like to sew a piece onto the bottom of the box that's the same colour as the inside. So I'm just going to sew around that. Now I don't put wadding in. It just occurred to me that you could actually line these with wadding if you wanted them really extra soft. I don't do that. I think they're fine just as they are. And I'm going to quickly sew this on here now. And then we'll start thinking about things to embellish the other sides with. Okay, so let's see what else I can find. I quite like that. It does look good with the, but I like this better. This is a lovely bit of handmade lace from my suitcase. Yeah, I think I'd prefer to use that one. Now sometimes, if things are a little bit creased, and I've got my little iron here, and I can just give that a little. This is a great setup. I've got my ironing pad here. Give that bit a little bit of an iron, and then let's think about where to put that. Okay. Now you could use zigzag stitches if you wanted to, or decorative threads. On some of I made one the other day, and it's got variegated thread in the top bobbin. That looks really nice too. So I'm going to carry on doing this. I might actually tack that down. So I do hand stitching sometimes, like now. I have tried sewing this on with a sewing machine, but all the bobbles get stuck in the sewing machine, so I actually prefer to stitch these on by hand. And I've got a few of my Aurifil threads here. There's one. That's the one I need, I think. So I'm going to just stitch that down with a little bit of blue thread. So come back later, I'll show you the whole thing finished, and if you are a Log Cabin patron and you're watching this, this might be your one I'm making. That would be cool, wouldn't it? Make sure you move all those little elements away, because you don't want to break your needle. And then move my little bubble out of the way. Okay then, so the lining and the outside are all nice and secure. And the next thing we need to do is connect them together to make the box. It's quite simple. You just put these two bits together like that and line the tops up nice and carefully. I've actually flipped it round so that I can do another line of stitching there. I quite like how it looks with lots of stitch lines like that, and then I'm going to do the other three sides. Okay, that's all the sides done. So now we go around and do a good old clean up of threads and edges and any bits that you don't like the look of, like here. I'm just going to trim those loose edges off there. There's quite a lot of bits there that I need to trim, or leave, your choice. You know, there's a kind of degree of scrappiness, and then there's a bit that's not acceptable. You decide. That's nice. Around the top, see if there's any bits sticking out. No, that looks pretty good actually. I might just trim this lining fabric back a little bit in line with the denim. Now just imagine if you let yourself run riot with this, you could do embroidery on here, you could sew all sorts of beautiful bits and pieces on here, and there it is. It perhaps needs another little bit of a tweak to get some stray threads off. It's beautifully lined inside. I like to do that on the bottom. I don't do it on all of them, but that one has. And there is my little soft box. In this pocket here, I'm thinking about what I might pop into the pockets, the ones that have pockets. But you could, I think a great use for it would be for sewing. If you could carry it around with some sewing notions in. It's knowing when to stop, isn't it? Tweaking and gilding the lily. There it is though. I like how simple it is. I like that side very much. And then if you wanted to send this to your friend, then it's easy enough just to fold that bit like so. This is how I'm going to be sending them out, and it folds nice and flat like that. And when it comes, you just pop it up and there it is, ready to go. It's a really sweet little gift for someone who likes sewing, knitting, anything at all. So I hope you've enjoyed watching that come together. This is quite a simple one. You can get really imaginative with how you put your embellishments on here. So thanks for watching, and check out Patreon. On Friday, like I said, there'll be the video about me making the design board up here in my sewing room. And then all sorts of videos about the things that I love to do here. And you'll be able to check those out there in a feature called Collections. You'd be very welcome. Also, if you make one of these and you want to show me, then over on Instagram, you can tag me. I'm Kate at the Last Homely House there, and Anna and I look after Instagram, and you'll be able to tag me with anything that you've made and I'll see it there. And then there's a Facebook group that I'm not part of, but there's some lovely admins who look after that, and you could post your finished works there as well. What's that one called, Kate? The Last Homely House. You'll find it there. So thanks so much for watching, and give us a thumbs up, a like and a subscribe, and I will see you next time somewhere here at the Last Homely House. Maybe not up here in this sewing room, but maybe doing something else somewhere, because I love to make videos for you. So I'll see you next time. Thank you so much. I'm going to make another one now.